to Real Reviews, where we take a look at major Hollywood releases and let you know if they're worth your time, money, and patience. I'm your host, Walter Benasiak. Today we're changing things up and highlighting one of Governor State's very own student productions. The name of the production? A Beautiful View of Nothing. Joining us for the discussion is the writer, producer, and sound engineer of the film, David W. Pedersen. A Beautiful View of Nothing is an independent short film directed by Blake Labriola. The film was shot on a zero budget, relying on the kindness of others, peanut butter sandwiches, and inflatable mattresses. The movie follows Moses Beale, who lives in a world with a limited timeline. When his friends, family, and co-workers all start to literally disappear, he is left questioning the purpose of spending the remainder of his days alone. Can Moses achieve a lifetime of meaning within 5 days, or is he destined to fade away like most of those who surround him? That question and more, all addressed in A Beautiful View of Nothing. So, Dave, you wrote the film. What ideas worked in this film that don't work in some of your other stories? Because I know you've released a lot of short stories. That is.
I think the idea of writing from the end to the beginning, that the story starts at the end, has a bookends, which I use quite a bit, where you'll start the movie off with something towards the end, not the exact end, and then bring the viewer through it. So I think it's a great experiment in writing from the end to the beginning, and that's the way that I wrote it. I didn't write it scene by scene by scene, and then just put it backwards. I actually took the note cards and wrote from the end to the beginning. So, yeah.
That just worked better on screen.
I think it's interesting to see, from the perspective of somebody going through what Moses is going through. For the audience, it does work better, I think.
Yeah.
If it was forward, I like to give them clues. I like to give people, basically put them in a certain direction. They don't know where they're going yet. And it takes a little bit of a patience from the audience, but
Sure.
you just have to, as Charlie Kaufman said, wow them in the end. So, yeah.
You talk about movies that are disjointed and edited in different order. I mean, maybe like Memento or something like that. Is that a film that you sort of take it as something that inspired the editing in this or something?
I have
like
no
that?
idea what that is.
Never seen Memento?
No, I don't think it was an inspiration. I think when I saw it, I really liked it.
So you're a fan of like the cutting back and forth. You're not really sure what's going on.
I like nonlinear stuff as long as there's a payoff.
Right.
If it's just because you want to be, if somebody made a movie and they're like, this movie's not very good, let's try to make it art. You know what I mean?
Right.
Conceptual kind of idea, because it's not working, in a regular way. I think there's plenty of that.
Right.
But yeah, I think Memento's a great film, but I don't think it's necessarily inspiration.
Sure. Take us through your writing process from the conception of your idea. I mean, how do you get these ideas right? Do you write them down as you think of them, or is it something that you wait till later?
Well, I actually took a page out of Harlan Ellison, the famous screenwriter, and he sends off for his ideas up in Poughkeepsie. It's $20 a month. You mail a check off and they send you ideas back.
Wow.
No, that's what he says. That's what he says.
That's all the time we have.
I don't know. I write if something comes out and I have an idea, I'll put it in a drawer, or I'll tack it up on a board and I'll come back to it. A lot of the time before I actually sit down and write is outlining, is thinking, is going on walks, is connecting the dots between the two scenes. I know, like Robert Rodriguez, when he wrote El Mariachi, he took index cards, and I love using index cards, and placing them out, and if you don't have a scene to bridge one scene to the other, you just put a blank index card.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so that works for me, because then it's like, well, how do I get them here to there, and kind of drawing the, dotting the lines or whatever.
Right. So you're not just a screenwriter. I mean, you're an author. You've released a book, Love is Meat.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of short stories. What are some of your inspirations in terms of writers?
The editor of the book, Thomas Faltenberg, is a wonderful poet. He's definitely a huge influence on what I write. Dennis Johnson, who wrote Jesus' Son, which is kind of this surrealist. They made a movie out of it that's terrible, but it surrealism. I'm trying to think of who else. As far as I love anything that Charlie Kaufman writes, be it Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, adaptation where he actually writes himself into the movie. And have you ever seen that film?
Right.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love the surreal. Yeah, I love the surrealism stuff. So, I think if you could make it still a good story and easy to follow, but you can throw in weird stuff that you'd like to see or like to do, then that's the way I like to write, at least.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a look at a clip from the film. Take a look.
You have 11 messages.
This is a government relief agency pre-recorded message. This is a government relief agency pre-recorded message on the behalf of
Judith Bryce.
This message is being delivered per request of the author.
I'm sorry. I just can't wait around anymore. I don't even think there's anyone left to hear this.
God damn it. Judith.
So that scene really shows off like sort of the isolationist feel, the sense of hopelessness, melancholy throughout the film.
Yeah.
Is that a theme that's in a lot of your stories?
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is?
Kim, the cinematographer of the film, reads a lot of the stuff that I haven't even released yet, and she's like, it's always so sad. But the thing that I try to balance out is the humor with sadness, because I think that there's, life isn't just either sad or happy or funny or serious. It's a mixture. And oftentimes when things are going great, something comes in and, that you don't expect. So I try to put that in there, with him having conversations with Sam, there's these jokes, but there's these serious pauses afterwards. If you go back and watch it and see that they're joking, they're kind of laughing, and then they're remembering, that something very bizarre is happening at the same time. So.
All right. So what's next for you? Do you plan on making more books?
Retirement.
You're retiring right after this.
I announce it here on Real Reviews.
Beautiful view of retirement. That's going to be you in the poster there.
I just had a directorial debut for a poem that we turned into a short called Pins, a feature-length script called Synthetic Love Incorporated. I co-wrote a script with Sang-Hoon Lee called Banana Season right now. I think that's a working title. Basically, send me your money, I'll write something for you.
All right, so at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, do you want for it to read, David W. Pedersen, author, or David W. Pedersen, screenwriter?
Philanthropist.
Philanthropist. That'll work.
Michael Keaton adored.
Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's biggest fan.
He never writes back.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I think it's two different things. With writing books, the person reading it, has to imagine, and I think there's something very special about that. But with film, it's if I get to direct it, or and I'm working with Kim as the cinematographer, I get to basically take what's in my imagination to make it. So I like doing both. I think I'd probably get sick of one and then move over to the other one, and then get sick of that and move over to the other one.
So you like the variety that's there.
Yeah, I do.
Cool. So you're going to be making more films. Do you have any plans for any more books or anything like that coming up?
I've got a couple short stories that I was compiling. I don't know. Might be staying away from the poetry stuff, but I love writing that. I love writing poetry, but we'll see. It'll take me maybe a year or something to compile more short stories if I decide to do that. So.
All right, ready for lightning round?
Yes.
Favorite writer, go.
Michael Keaton. Dennis Johnson wrote Jesus' Son.
I'm going to go with Michael Keaton. I'd like to thank David W. Pedersen for talking with us today about this very unique student short film. Look out for a beautiful view of nothing at film festivals in the coming months. Remember, if it's not reviewed here, it just isn't real. I'm Walter Bernasiak, and I'll see you at the movies.